we're rolling.
Okay, this is about someone who I thought was going to be cool, but he turned out to be a fucking asshole and a fucking snowflake. You know, he's kind of like Brad. He plays a trick on you. You think he's cool at the beginning, and then, well, you know how Brad... Well, maybe we can talk a bit about Brad when we're done. One of the bad things about having Asperger's is when you tell a person with Asperger's a bunch of bullshit and lies, they end up believing it, along with being unaware of social cues. So like maybe that douchebag was giving me social cues and long ago and I wasn't able to pick up on it. I was going to the spiritualist church and the people there turned out to be a bunch of assholes. And I hate to admit this, but I liked the spiritualist church that I went to in Florida, and that was in Fort Lauderdale. And I actually liked it better there, and the main reason I liked it there so much better is almost every week someone would bring donuts to eat. The bad thing about having donuts there is it would attract a lot of undercover police officers. The people didn't know me very well and in the beginning, so some people told me that I should quote unquote, come out of my shell, in other words, be more outgoing. And as a way to get to know me a little bit better, they suggested that I do a talk, or I guess that it would be a spoken words as a way to describe who I am and what I'm about. And yet, it actually was tame in comparison to a lot of the other things I do. So when I did my thing, it seemed to have gone over quite well, and I got a lot of laughs, and a couple of people told me that they liked my performance. And one of the people who seemed to like it was John. Things seemed to have gone so good, I decided that I was going to do another spoken words a few weeks later on Easter Sunday. And I decided to pick Easter because I had an unpredictable work schedule, and that's related to that fucking cunt Kathy who fired me. And I talked about that during my last visit. I think that's finally on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's on YouTube. You know, she was a fucking cunt.
I know.
But because I knew that I would have Easter Sunday off, I'd be free that day, and John told me that instead of doing... so John told me that for my next spoken words, instead of me doing a spoken words, he decided that me and him would do a co-talk about something, and we would meet at a coffee shop or a restaurant to decide what we would talk about, and he was going to buy me my dinner. Now that sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, when I get there, he wanted to know what I was planning on talking about. And I said, I thought you and me were going to do a co-talk about something. Well, apparently that's not what he was there for. He just told me me and him were going to do a co-talk on something, because he would then went on to tell me that what I talked about was funny. And although what I talked about was tame in comparison to some of the other things I often talk about, and although he didn't get any complaints, some of what I talked about was too extreme for some people to handle it, and it caused some of the women's eyeballs to roll. So in other words, he laid a fucking guilt trip on me. John was concerned that considering that because I was planning on doing my thing on Easter Sunday, it might cause someone mental, quote-unquote, mental harm because they would hear something that was too explicit on Easter. Here we go again. Someone trying to shove this touchy-feely sensitivity shit down my throat again. John wasn't really there for us to do a co-talk, but he was there to screen and censor what I was planning on talking about, except I had no idea what I was planning on talking about because he said that me and him were going to do a co-talk, which means that I end up wasting his time. And because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, because I was waiting for him and me to come up with an idea, something to talk about. Not to mention, he also was pissed because he mentioned that the gas money that he wasted on coming out to see me that day, and actually, I feel kind of good about that. Come to think of it, I don't give a fuck that I wasted his gas money. I'm glad I wasted his gas money. John was so concerned about what I was going to talk about because I made women's eyeballs roll during my previous performance, and it was going to be on Easter Sunday, and some new people might end up showing up, and if they heard me doing my talk, it would make them look bad. Although he told me that it would be unlikely that any new people would show up that day, and here's my question. If I didn't get any complaints from my last performance, and it would be unlikely that a new person would show up, then why did he have to make an issue out of it? You had an answer that last time we was doing this.
I think I said because he's the one that gets offended.
He's the snowflake, you said.
Well, yeah, he's a snowflake.
Well, I know. He decided to make an issue out of it because he's a fucking asshole.
Well, that too.
Well, while we were at the restaurant, John also tried to lay a guilt trip on me for not buying anything at the restaurant because it made him feel uncomfortable that I didn't buy anything, except I didn't have any fucking money, and I wasn't making a lot of money at the time. And there was another time that I was trying to bring some point up about something that I was talking about, and John rudely interrupted me and wouldn't let me finish what I was talking about. And he was nasty about it. And I wasn't in a bad enough mood to tell him to fuck off like I should have. Well, what happened to all that sensitivity that he so strongly believed in? I have noticed that a lot of people who expect me to be all touchy-feely and sensitive to please them are the same people who could care less about being sensitive to meet my needs. In fact, I can't think of a single time when someone expected me to be sensitive to please them were ever sensitive to please me. Have you noticed that?
I have.
As for John's promise to buy me dinner that day, he lied about that.
Oh.
That dirtbag, self-righteous motherfucker, lying piece of fucking shit, asshole, fucking hypocrite. His mother should have had an abortion, and pieces of his unborn fetus should have been scraped out of his mother's stinky, smelly twat.
Actually vacuumed out.
Vacuumed out. Whatever. Actually, no, I don't say stinky, smelly twats when I talk about abortions anymore. I don't say stinky, smelly twats, only because most women do take a shower before they have an abortion. But anyway, I will never put up with anyone who tries to pull this shit on me again in the end.
Yeah. All right. Now, true, he wasn't obligated to buy you dinner, but he was only because he promised he would, and then he went back on it.
He backpedaled.
That's right. He backpedaled. Now, what year was this again?
2003.
And this was before you knew that you had Asperger's?
I didn't know I had Asperger's in 2003.
Oh, so he didn't know about that either.
No, he didn't know about that. And plus, don't forget, I was diagnosed on June 2, 2009. How can you not remember?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
At the same time that David Carradine croaked while he was jerking off, which starts the Church of David Carradine.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, so I think John was lying about doing a co-talk with you. He only wanted to get you over there to lecture you about toning down and that you made women uncomfortable. And how could you talking about something make someone else that's not even talking about that look bad? I don't get that.
It would no. He was afraid it would make that entire church look bad because of what I was talking about. That was his concern.
Oh, now do you remember what you had talked about when you were asked to talk about yourself and all that?
It was actually not an official spoken words. I don't even have it written out. It was just a few things, getting to know me a little better, just a brief history of my life, blah blah blah, some things like that.
Well, what do you think was in it that made some people uncomfortable? Do you think you remember?
I really don't remember. And it was mild in comparison to the other things I do.
Could you imagine if you read some of the other things?
Yeah.
Oh God, like about diarrhea and abortions and stuff. Oh God. Yeah, that would not go over.
So do you think he was a fucking asshole?
I do. Yeah. So what happened after that? You didn't tell me about the aftermath.
I ended up getting ostracized by another asshole. So I didn't get to do my thing, and then they were falling apart anyway. Yeah. Good riddance. I fucking my mom didn't really miss them anyway.
No.
He said he was just gonna. This was this guy Brooke who wanted to do just a traditional Easter sermon, not like a Christian one. It was something else. I don't remember what it was, but Oh yeah, Brooke was another person who kind of was a fucking asshole.
What
'Cause
happened?
he liked my spoken words at the beginning, and
Then what? And then everything turned to shit, right?
well, not as bad, but
Oh.
he he. This was from a psychic reading. I don't know what fucking psychic told him this. Oh, he told me a couple of different things. Where were we at with time?
We're like 10:30.
I got 4 minutes. So he told me that it's okay to be funny and do comedy, but he said that my material needs to be more positive.
Oh, I am so sick of hearing that.
Oh, you know that guy that guy Chuck, who was like that.
I know.
When I was complaining too much, he says, I only want to hang around people who do positive and constructive things.
Sounds like Brad. That's not constructive.
Well, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Not Brad.
No, I know, Chuck.
That other piece of shit.
Yeah, I know.
Turned out to be. He only had one redeeming quality.
Yeah, I know. I know. Certain interests that you share. Yeah.
But another thing, he gave me the psychic reading that I have a teacher, a spirit guide, and I remember the name. He said I don't remember things very well. That he told me his name is Cato, and he's teaching me spiritual things, allegedly. And he said, and he told me that Cato said I'm a very stubborn student, and he said that I have to either stop being stubborn, or I could learn things the easy way, or I'm going to have to learn things the hard way.
Now I'm rolling my eyeballs.
He said hard.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck was he talking about?
Oh, some new age flowery woo-woo shit that has nothing to do with the struggles you have to go through in real life. Yeah, I'm quickly losing patience with that crap.
And then during a pandemic where there's hardly any spoken words, and I guess we're not going to go into the problem with one of them because you got to have proof of vaccination shit. I don't want to get into it now.
Yeah.
But where are you at with time?
We're like 12:45.
Anything else for a minute and a half?
Do you feel that anyone at the church talked to John and said, hey, you should talk to Pat about this? Or do you think he took it on himself?
You know, I really don't know. I can't rule it out either way.
Have you ever thought about that? Like, wondered it? Or is it just
here's
me?
another thing.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about dreams.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have this dream very often, but because I do have problems with my teeth, and I've lost teeth. I had dreams that most of my teeth ended up falling out.
Oh.
And I was putting my fucking teeth back and trying to... Those are nightmares when that kind of shit happens. And I was wondering why I had that dream, and Self Righteous Little John told me it's a warning that I need to watch what I say. He said that's why.
Oh, that is such bullshit. Where does he even get that from?
At least the other people came up with other reasons why I may have dreams about losing teeth. I haven't had dreams about losing teeth in a while, thankfully.
You know what? I've had dreams where I had perfect teeth, and then I woke up to the disappointing reality that they're not.
You know, that's what the opposite of a nightmare is.
Yeah, you're right.
When
you dream something good, and then you wake up and you realize that's not the case.
Where are we at with time?
It's 14 even.
Half a minute.
A little less, actually, yeah.
It's like when that fucking cunt fired from my job, and then I have a dream that we're still working there.
Yeah.
And also, I've had dreams that my parents are still alive.
Oh, I always do, yeah.
And I had dreams about seeing my grandparents, and my grandfather was a fucking prick, and my authoritarian fucking prick. I talked about that last time, and
yes.
My grandmother was kind of a cunt.
Yeah, you've had various relatives that are fucking assholes. Poor you.
It's got to be approaching 14 and a half minutes now.
Okay, it is 14:40.
Stop.